Now 7% becomes around say 10,000. But H1B are 85,000 per year. Now do the maths. Out of these H1B professionals, technology professionals from Indian background, they are around 67%. So look at the mathematics, then what will happen? And most of them, they stay here. So if you look at that, you can have around 10K out, but around
50K.
60K in. So every year there will be 40 to 50K additional backlog getting created. It will never close. So the new applicants to green card, they say that one report says that it will take 100 year, 150 year, but it will never close. It will keep on growing. It's not like a converging. So this is the where the policies needs to be taken. And we are very happy today that Congressman Rich McCormick, Congressman Raja, Krishnamurthy, then even Congressman Matt Cartwright to mention the same thing. We are having more elected officials coming over here. So FIIDS has been working in this segment for a longer time. We actually worked last year when some of you may be, after the COVID, there was a huge backlog on the visa appointment. So we campaigned for that. We did the change.org campaign, etc. We did the contact consular services, and we were very happy that US State Department in general, and then particularly the Bureau of South and Central Asia, headed by Nancy Jackson, did wonderful job, and the Bureau of Consular Services, they opened offices, they took the steps, very extraordinary steps to bring that the visa appointment delays. It used to be 900 days delays, now it has reduced significantly. So we thank State Department also invited us to have the press conference in the State Department to create the awareness about the policies. And one of the policies that they had declared is that pilot program to have the H1 stamping in United States itself, which actually is going to be very much important because right now most of the technology professionals, they have to go out of the country, they have to take the leaves, lot of expenses, but they can do the in-country visa stamping. So some of the steps that administration is doing is very, very good. But also we have seen that later on when the layoffs were happening, particularly in the Silicon Valley, almost 200,000 in a gap of probably 6 to 8 months were laid off. And many of them, more than you can say that 80 to 90,000 were from Indian background. So those, again we did the campaigns, and then we worked, we interacted, we communicated with the USCIS, and then they had actually also, because of there are rules, we campaigned for extending from 60 days to 180 days. We got the reply, no, that's not possible, it is not in the hands of USCIS, it requires legislative changes. So we are back to Congress on to that. But meanwhile, department also showed some paths, so that is not the only way. They can still be legal residents if they apply for B1, B2 and seek for the active employment. So it's also another example that when we work with the administration, there are certain things that we can try to find out the ways, but also there are a lot of things that we need to work into the legislative changes. Recently there are H1B related changes that a draft was published for comments from the USCIS, and FIIDS, it is a 165 pages document. It brings lot of things like to bring down the fraudulent filings, to bring down the duplicate applications, etc. So we submitted our report into that. Our few asks are like this. One of the ask is about the having parity of legal immigrants or documented immigrant and undocumented immigrant. I don't want to call that as an illegal immigrant because President Biden just yesterday said that don't want to call that. So I'm fine with that. So we want to have parity between documented and undocumented in some cases. Like for example, undocumented immigrants staying here for say, let's say that 10 years, they can get, or they actually get the EAD in 5 years. However, the H1B holders who are waiting or tax paying, contributing, peace living, creating wealth, but they cannot have the EAD. they are shackled. So if they get a EAD, why is it important? Is important because then they can change the jobs, they can be available, their talent can be available for the national interest. And there are some many other side effects are there. One of the side effects is that on their children cannot take the jobs, not even the campus jobs. And when they, at the age of 21, if their parents did not get the green card, they become illegal or the undocumented. And because most of the part of the life, significant part of the life they spent in United States, and then parents are here, they don't have anywhere else to go. So they need to apply for F1 visas and F4 visas and all that thing, which are also another unnecessary things. When we have for undocumented immigrants, children, we have DACA Act, but for documented immigrant children, we don't have equivalent. So we just probably in that case we want to have parity. Just treat documented immigrants little bit with respect, same parity with as a undocumented immigrants. So there are a lot of things that are going to that. Like a student segment, we have some testimonials later. They get the OPT, and there is a very fixed number of years they can try on the OPT. And if they like 2 years and they don't go to into like say H1B or anything, because there is a lottery system into that. So many of them has the no option than go back to again the students or some other way to live here and pursue their dreams. With this, I would like to just bring lot of these policies, and it's very important that we all work together and try hard to make the policy changes to make sure that the dreams of the immigrants contributes in the economic growth and competitive advantage of the United States. It is also called by the National Security Advisors that STEM talent is one of the most important competitive advantage that needs to be there for the larger national interest, particularly when the global supply chains or the competitive, or rather you can say that the China actually has produced the largest number of patents and everything, and there is a stealing of technology, there is a threat over that. To stand against that, it needs to make sure that tech talent in United States is actually maintained and grown. With this, I would like to hand over to Yogi Chuk. We are happy to see Congressman Eric Swalwell is from Silicon Valley, and we are very proud of him.
Yeah, so thank you.